They always tell you that family is your safe haven, the people who should protect you when the world turns cold. But let me tell you, that's a lie. Family can hurt you more than any stranger. My name is Caroline Davis. I was born in 1964 in a small town in Oklahoma, a place where everyone knew everyone's business. It was a place where secrets were hidden behind closed doors, and the truth was swallowed whole to keep up appearances. But it wasn't the town that broke me. It was the people I trusted the most. As a little girl, I spent my time playing with dolls in the yard, pretending to have a perfect life. But something was always off in our house. My father, Robert Davis, was a man of many secrets. The man who should have been my protector was instead a dark presence looming over us. And my mother, Deborah, beautiful and kind but broken inside, became a silent witness to the decay in our home. Her eyes once sparkled with love, but over time those eyes became dull, dimmed by years of submission and fear. I remember the sound of her crying, muffled as she sat alone in the kitchen, peeling potatoes. My father's orders would ring through the house like a constant battle cry. And me, I was a silent observer. I had learned to blend into the walls, to stay invisible. I was the youngest of 3, the accident my mother would whisper about. When she thought I wasn't listening, my brothers, Henry and Peter, were my protectors. Or at least that's what I thought. Henry was the eldest, a strong and kind figure who played baseball with me in the yard and taught me how to ride my bike. I remember his laughter echoing around our small house, but over time something began to change. The closeness we once had faded. It was as if he had forgotten how to be a brother. I don't remember exactly when it started, but one day, his touch on my shoulder felt too long, too lingering. A word he said cut deeper than it should have. I tried to ignore it. I tried to hold on to the brother I once knew, but slowly the bond we shared was slipping away. And then there was Peter. Peter, my other brother, the one who was always there when I needed a hug, a friend. He wasn't like Henry. He had a darker edge, but I always believed he loved me. But as I grew, his love became something else. A possession, a need to control. At first, I was confused. He was my protector, wasn't he? But as the years passed, the lines blurred, and the relationship I once trusted became a nightmare. Each night, Peter would come to my room, sit on the edge of my bed, and whisper in my ear his words like poison. I want to protect you, Caroline. I want to take care of you. But it wasn't love. It was control. It was manipulation. I couldn't escape. I couldn't shake the feeling that I had left a part of myself behind, a part I could never get back. Living in Arizona, I learned to navigate a world that was foreign to me. I'd never been independent, never had the chance to stand on my own 2 feet. It was exhausting, but I slowly started to rebuild. I rented a small room, bought second-hand clothes, and started to make friends. They were good to me, but there was always a part of me that remained closed off. I couldn't let anyone too close, not after what Peter had done. One afternoon, while I was waiting tables, an older woman came into the diner. Her name was Ruth. She always sat in the corner booth by the window, quietly sipping her coffee, reading the paper. At first, she was just another regular, but one day she stopped me as I was refilling her cup. "You've been through something," she said simply. "I can see it in your eyes." I froze, unable to speak. How could she know? I tried to brush it off, but she persisted. "I know what it's like to carry a burden. You don't have to carry it alone." Her words were kind, but there was a weight to them, an understanding I wasn't ready for. Over the next few weeks, Ruth became a quiet presence in my life. She didn't ask questions, never pried into my past, but she was always there, a steady hand when I needed it. Slowly, I found myself opening up to her, telling her about the fear, the abuse, the years I had spent hiding. She listened without judgment, her eyes filled with compassion. For the first time in years, I felt seen, not for my mistakes, but for the person I was trying to become. But even as I started to heal, the weight of my past still hung over me. The nightmares came at night, The memory of Peter's touch, my mother's silence. The scars ran deep, and no amount of distance could erase them. And then the letter came, the one I had hoped would never arrive. It was from the adoption agency, a simple envelope with my son's name on it. My heart stopped as I held it in my hands. I knew what it meant. My son had found me. He wanted to know me, to hear my side of the story. I stared at the letter for days, unable to open it. What was I supposed to say? How could I explain to him the decisions I had made? How could I tell him about the pain, the fear, the choices that had led me to give him up? I had spent years running from the truth, but now the truth was coming to find me. The letter sat on my kitchen table, a silent challenge. I had built a life for myself in Arizona, far from the horrors of my past. But could I keep running? Or was it time to face the truth? To tell my son the story he deserved to hear? I opened the letter that night. His words were simple but heartbreaking. I know you're my mother. I want to know you. Please, I need to hear your side of the story. There was no anger, no bitterness in his words. Just a quiet plea for understanding. I didn't know what to do. Should I stay hidden, keep running from my past? Or should I finally face the consequences of my actions? I thought about Ruth and how she had helped me, how she had listened without judgment. Could I offer the same to my son? I realized then that I had spent my life hiding, pretending that the pain didn't exist, but I couldn't keep running anymore. It was time to face my past, to speak the truth, no matter how much it hurt. I wrote back to my son. It wasn't easy, but I poured my heart into the letter, telling him everything, about Peter, about my mother, about the fear I had lived with. I told him how much I had loved him, how hard it had been to let him go, and how much I had regretted it every day since. It was a letter of apology, of confession, and of love. I sent it, not knowing what would happen next, but for the first time in years, I felt like I had taken a step forward. Weeks passed before I heard anything back, but when the letter came, I could barely bring myself to open it. My hands shook as I read the words. I understand, Mom. I don't blame you. I just wanted to know you. I want to know more about who I am, where I came from. But you don't have to tell me everything. Just know that I'm not angry. I just want to know you. Please, if you're ready, let's meet. I sat there for hours, the letter in my hands. I didn't know what to feel. Relief, fear, hope, maybe all of it. My son was offering me a chance to heal, to finally move on from the past that had haunted me for so long. I decided to meet him. We arranged a place, a small cafe in the city. The day I met him, I was terrified. What would he look like? Would he hate me for everything I had done? Would he understand the choices I had made? But when I saw him, sitting at the table waiting for me, I didn't see a stranger. I saw the boy I had given up, the child I had carried for 9 months, the son I had never stopped loving. He was grown now, a young man. But his eyes, those green eyes, were the same eyes that haunted me every night. We sat together for hours, talking about everything and nothing. I told him more about my life, about the things that had shaped me, about the mistakes I had made. He listened, nodding, never judging, never angry. And for the first time, I didn't feel like a monster. I felt like a mother, a woman who had fought for survival and now, finally was fighting for something worth saving. We parted that day, but it wasn't goodbye. It was just the beginning of something new. And maybe, just maybe, that was enough. If you found my story meaningful, if you think it could help someone who needs to hear it, then please, hit that like button, subscribe, and share this video with your friends. Your support means more than I can express. We all have stories, we all have battles, and sometimes the smallest act, like sharing a video or leaving a comment, can make a world of difference to someone who feels alone. Now, if there's one thing I've learned in my 75 years, it's that life doesn't always turn out the way we plan. We don't get to choose the hand we're dealt, but we can choose how we play it. We can choose to survive, to fight for ourselves, and most importantly, to protect those who can't protect themselves. No matter how dark the past is, no matter how heavy the scars, there is always a way forward. Don't let the past define you. Don't let anyone tell you that your worth is based on what you've endured. It's never too late to rebuild, to find your voice, to find freedom. Every day is a new chance to make the life you deserve. What's one lesson you've learned from your own life struggles? Share it in the comments below. I'd love to hear your thoughts, your stories, your experiences. And if you want to hear more stories like this, make sure you subscribe and stay tuned for the next one. I've got plenty more to share, and I hope you'll join me for the next chapter. Remember, you're not alone, and you don't have to carry the weight of your past forever. Keep fighting, keep believing, and above all, keep loving yourself. Because you're worth it.